Voice of the Cincinnati Reds, and you're up for Late Night Reds Talk.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday night. Welcome to this week's edition of Late Night Reds Talk Live, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and Bet Online. Our partners at Bet Online continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. First, find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV to receive 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Also brought to you by LateNightReds.merchmake.com, where we've got some sweet merch. We've seen you guys out there showing some love with your new tees. We appreciate it. You guys have been asking for the Big Red Platoon shirt. We got it for you. We got hoodies. We got joggers. I'm 1,000% going to get a pair of joggers, where you can kind of go there and get some stuff to support us as well. We greatly appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get to the show. I am one of your hosts, your co-host, Mr. Tim Daniel himself, the beer chugging, losing streak breaking, celebrating Tim Daniel. Joining us as always, our excellent producer who puts it all together, Mr. Nick Kirby.
Well, what's going on, fellas? Happy Wednesday night. How we doing?
You know, we're here.
Yeah.
Things we can say about it. And also joining us, sporting the Big Red Platoon, Mr. former big leaguer himself, Carlos Guevara. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. Not too bad.
Good. Well, hopefully, if you are checking us out here on the show today, you are giving us a nice follow on the TikToks where you can see us act like idiots, and it's pretty fun. I think we're really having way too much fun with our TikTok. TikTok probably should not have allowed us to have an account. Let's just kind of call it what it is, guys.
They need us.
Yeah, especially for a team that's 3-15 right now. But let's go ahead and get into tonight. Obviously, a pretty rough night at the GABP for the Reds, losing to San Diego by a final of 8-5. Vladimir Gutierrez with 5 innings, 6 earned runs, and 6 walks. But Kyle Farmer, Farm Dog, 4 doubles tonight, 2 ribeyes. Tommy Pham, 2 for 4 with a homer and a walk. So I know we're going to get into everything that's going wrong with the team, and obviously that's what we got to do. But if you look at the box score the last 3 days, offense is coming around. I know Joey's not getting a lot of hits right now, and I know, but Farmer, Senzel's bats opening up. I mean, I think they're average 5 runs a game the last 3 games now. So offense is coming around, and if you look at, this is me just trying to be as optimistic as possible here. So a bad Vladimir Gutierrez inning, and then yesterday you have a really bad Raver San Martin inning. You kind of take those out here. We're talking about 2 Reds wins right now, right?
Maybe.
I'm trying.
It's quite the hypothetical, though. I mean, it's been tough, but you make a good point. They're hitting the ball at least. It's coming from I couldn't tell you who's been getting the hits just because I don't even remember. Just because Joey's been struggling so bad. But I know the farm dog. He's just consistent, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 runs they scored yesterday would have won 6 of the games they played earlier in the year, and then 5
Yeah.
runs tonight would have won 4 of the games. So it's just, I mean, obviously it doesn't work out that way, but it's just everything that could go wrong is pretty much gone wrong here. These first, I don't know, we're 3 weeks into the season, 2.5,
7, 8,
Feels
9
like
weeks.
5 months already.
Yeah.
in eternity. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The offense is definitely coming around, and some two rough, like I said, two rough endings from our starters the past couple days, and but I guess the plus on that is Nick Lodolo looked terrific Sunday against St. Louis, and I know we haven't had a chance to do a show since then. We'll talk about tonight and moving forward, obviously, but want to make sure we give him his flowers because he was awesome on Sunday and he was a blast to watch.
Yeah, he threw the ball really well. Really, really impressive. His mound presence is, beyond his years. It's exciting to watch. Get kind of almost like a Cliff Lee type of vibe from him a little bit.
Yeah, if he's Cliff Lee, I'm down. I'm all the way in for sure.
I like that Cliff Lee comp.
I do too.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
I like
Knuckles,
that,
guys. Knuckles.
I was thinking like Clayton Kershaw. I was like, I don't really like that. Feels too far out there. But yeah, I think Cliff Lee's a really nice one. I like that. Very good. Yeah, I mean, look, in a season where the Reds are 3-15, I mean,
yeah,
let's celebrate Nick Lodolo. Let's celebrate Hunter Green. I mean, these are the guys that are going to hopefully bring us back. If anyone's going to bring us back, it's going to be, those two guys. So that's really what we got to be all aboard focused on at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, I was at the game Friday when Hunter pitched, and I know he only went 3 1/3, and he wasn't as sharp as he had been throughout the year. I'm not really down on him though. Like I feel like it just is like he battled, he missed some pitches, sure. Like he had tripled his walks he had his first 2 starts, but I don't think I'm at the point where I'm like down on him. I think it was just kind of, just one of those nights. Like we've been saying all along, he's going to look like a rookie sometimes. And I think that's what that was.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty pumped up to pitch in LA. Whether he wanted to or not, the juices were flowing a little bit more. He had however many pitches over 100, and so I mean he's young. His body doesn't know how to bounce back from that yet. He hasn't done that yet. So this is all new territory to him. So good for the Reds taking precaution and skipping a start, and we'll see where we go next.
Yeah, I mean, Green and Lodolo aren't going to pitch the whole year, so
right.
I mean, there's no point in being worried about them skipping a start.
Yeah.
Just going to make them go a little bit longer in the year.
I'd love for them to each skip a start a month.
Yeah,
that way they can pitch into September.
Yeah.
And I think with Reaver San Martin's inability to consistently find the strike zone or get balls past guys, and then we're seeing Goody kind of be up and down. It feels like that rotation is kind of working itself out as Luis Castillo is working his way back and Mike Minor. So I think for the time being, it kind of looks like those two are going to be the ones that get sent down. So I imagine Green and Lodolo are going to get quite a few more starts until that time comes when they're not pitching.
I hope San Martin goes to the bullpen. I hope he stays with the club.
Yeah, the Reds don't have a lot of lefties. I know
that's true.
You looked really good tonight, and Wilson has looked pretty solid this year. But I mean, they don't have a lot of lefties, so I definitely think there could be a role carved out for him. I think we've seen him look pretty good at times when he's only faced hitters one time through the order. So yeah, I think he could have some success. Interesting maybe role for him would be trying to maybe have him piggyback with Hunter Green as kind of that lefty, kind of the change of pace pitcher. And Hunter Green's not going to have a whole lot of starts that are going to go much more than 4 or 5 innings anytime soon, I don't think. So, I don't know, maybe you could put him in that type of role. I don't think I'm not giving up on him completely as a starter, but I don't see him being a major league starting pitcher, at least not now. I mean, I think you got to use an opener or something creative with him. He can't be facing big league hitters 3 times through. It's not going to work, I don't think.
Yeah, I like him. Like I said, I've been pretty supportive of him, but I'm with you. But they have their lefty out of the bullpen now. His name is Philip Deal. Ever heard of him? I don't know
Yeah,
if you heard. He's from Cincinnati.
Yeah, he was incredible tonight. I mean, that was cool to see. I mean, I think his family was half of the fans in the stands. So,
Yeah.
no, I mean that was a really cool moment, for him. And look, even when even when your team's 3-15, that's the cool thing about baseball. They can always find some great moments like that. And yeah, I mean, they shared his numbers on the broadcast. I mean, he's had a lot of success, with the Reds in Louisville. So, a team that doesn't have any lefties. I mean, I definitely think he could carve himself out a role. So, go Philip.
Yeah, good for
Yeah.
him. That was cool. Mom was
That was fun.
super into it. That was a good interview.
Yeah,
That was
fiance was fun.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
like making the case for him to be there. Like, no, he's here already. We know he's good.
Mom made him breakfast this morning. That's so good. That's like totally me when I go home to Cincinnati. Like, my mom's making me breakfast. Like, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just
And you
like
go
that.
home to visit. My folks are like, "Where do you want to go eat? Where do you want to go eat?" I'm like, no, I want you guys to cook. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we came home for.
Yeah, I agree. So obviously now at 3-15 with one more San Diego game. That's the one positive as we get that out of the way. The Reds now 8.5 games behind Milwaukee, but most importantly, 4.5 games behind the Cubs. And we've said it all year. I say all year, like it does feel like it's been an all year scenario, right? But I think Nick and I have been pretty high on this team is not as bad as their record shows. This is obviously a team that's battled a lot of injuries. I talked about this on Locked On Reds yesterday. But I'm starting to think they're not much better than they are right now when fully healthy. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but it's kind of starting to feel that way.
Welcome to the dark side, Tim.
Talk
to him, Nick. Talk to him, Nick.
They're not 3-15 bad. I mean, come on.
No. They're definitely not 3-15 bad.
I mean, I think fully healthy, this team is still a team that's close to 500 at their worst. But I mean, they're missing a lot of people. Luis Castillo solves a lot of problems. Tyler Stevenson solves a lot of problems. I mean, Donovan Solano and Jose Barrero solve a lot of problems. Look at the lineup tonight. You're running out Matt Reynolds and
hey man, he got on base twice tonight.
Yeah. So the coach yanked him.
I mean, just their lineup and how many lefties they faced, and to have two of your right-handed bats that you were expecting to kind of help fill out your lineup, and then they also missed India and Stevenson quite a bit. I mean, they're nowhere near this. I'll die on that hill that this team is a close to 500. And now, I mean,
better get that wheel straight.
Well, when you're 3-15, I mean, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting anywhere close back to 500. But I mean, yeah, I think when this team gets fully healthy, they'll probably be around a 500 team until they trade everyone at the deadline. So I mean, I don't know what it'll look like at the end of the year, but
so they're gonna have a cool 3 weeks, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really special June for the Reds. Hopefully May. I'm going to a lot of games in May, so hopefully May is the magical month.
I'm officially coming up for that Tuesday game, by the way.
Awesome. I'll be in Cincinnati next Saturday for the doubleheader.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going that Sunday, but I'll probably go to one of those Saturday games with you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Go Reds.
Fun, guys.
Pirates. I think it's the first team that Reds will be playing that's under 500. Are the Guardians over 500?
I think they're slightly over.
Guardians they're 7-10, so they're not. But that's the only team that the Reds have played that's. I mean, are they the only team that won't make the playoffs that the Reds have played? The Braves aren't. No, the Braves are off to a pretty cool start too. But I think they'll figure it out. I mean, they don't have Acuna yet, but
yeah, they're 8-10. They're 5 games behind the Mets, but the Mets have been awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Pirates can't get here soon enough.
I know.
That's what we said last year, buddy.
I think the Reds still went like 11-5 against them or something, right?
Something pretty good. I think it was like 14-4 or something like that.
I mean, they lost a couple at the end, but
yeah. The Reimer San Martin got 2 wins against them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you play the Cubs, just make sure you pitch around Seiya Suzuki, apparently, because he's awesome.
I think he's gonna cool off. I think he's due for some rushing. 13-6 last year against the Pirates. So yeah,
I was close.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I agree, especially when they have one guy on their team making over $5 million a year. Nick, blink twice if Nick crawls in the room with you. Very nice. I guess should we talk about the bags?
I didn't have one, or I would have wore one. I looked earlier to see if I had a paper bag, but no tango.
I was there Friday, and I was like, "Oh, okay, they're wearing bags." And then I looked over, and all of a sudden saw that someone was down there talking to them to take them off. And then I saw the Reds kind of like backing off that. I'm sure that was a lot of creative control from the top, right? But yeah, obviously a lot of just a weird vibe at the ballpark last week. I went to the Friday game, so I went to the Hunter Green start. And there was just and I know obviously when your team is 2-11 at that point, obviously it's hard to be excited, but the vibe was just super down around the stadium. It wasn't a lot of people hanging out and talking. It was just kind of it was really disappointing. I was really sad because I'm so used to even those years with the Todd Frazier, Cueto, Chapman years when they were getting ready to trade everybody. People were still excited to be at the stadium. It did not have that feeling whatsoever Friday night at GABP. It was really disappointing.
I wish I was going to the game tomorrow. That's going to be crickets in there.
I mean, you guys could probably all stand up and say something about yourselves.
I mean, you can hear everybody's conversation in the stands. They need to lower those mics down.
I bet there's a decent crowd tomorrow. People love day games in Cincinnati. I bet there's a bigger crowd than there was tomorrow.
Oh, a little side bet.
I think people love those businessman specials. Even when the Reds, were better, they would. I think a lot of people also don't realize the Reds could be good and not draw very well on a Wednesday night in April.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a little of both. I mean, for sure, but I bet there's a decent crowd tomorrow. Just I don't know, what's the weather like in Cincinnati, Tim?
Let me look real quick. It's pretty cold.
I'll tell you maybe not. Much. Maybe not. If it was a nice day tomorrow, I think there'd be
Let's see. Tomorrow we're looking at a solid high of 61 and a low of 40.
That might be a nice.
That'd be a nice day.
That's a nice day.
Is the sun going to be out?
It looks like it will. Yeah, it looks like the rain's tonight. So it looks like around first pitch will be in the 50s.
Why don't you go out there, Tim?
Yeah.
If I could get off work, I probably would.
They won't know you're gone. Just go for a couple hours.
I wish it worked that way, man.
Go on your lunch break, catch a couple innings.
If I worked downtown, when I worked downtown, I would have days where I'd leave early and go watch the last 6 innings. I miss those days. But yeah, it's definitely just a weird atmosphere right now. And I understand the losing certainly doesn't help and everyone frustrated with what happened this offseason. But just the least fun environment I feel like I've ever felt at the stadium.
Having zero fun, sir.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
Yeah, I mean it's disappointing. I mean, I think the bags on the head is probably a much not that big of a deal. Didn't Bengals fans have their bags on their heads 2 years ago and they're in the Super Bowl this year? I mean, I don't know why the Reds keep making a big deal out of these things. The billboard wasn't that big of a deal. Just don't say anything and shut up about it. And it blows over. Bags in their head's not a big deal. It blows over, but you keep making these things a story. That's what I don't really understand. I mean,
yeah, the bags on the head deal is you think those guys are really serious, they're trying to make a point, or they're just having fun.
Right.
They kind of feel that way, but they're just having fun. Hey, maybe we'll get on camera or, something like that. It's not even a big deal. Whatever.
I can't wait for after the flyover for them to be the Castellinis have issued a fine for if you fly your plane over the stadium during gameplay.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of this is a big deal. I mean, I don't really support wearing a bag on your head. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not my thing, but
you can do whatever you want. I think it's kind of a dumb thing to do, but you guys do you. I just it's probably over exaggeration. I just hope this negative energy, doesn't if the Reds are trying to offer an extension to like Jonathan India this offseason, I hope it doesn't
right.
play into that. I mean, I doubt it does. I mean, Jonathan India can't go anywhere. But yeah, I don't think it helps.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's just
Yes.
they keep saying these stupid things after, like, they're just real. I mean, they're brutally like butchering every single opportunity that they have.
Yep.
The Reds. It's like it's going to be the textbook of what not to do.
Yeah, I mean they've made everything
Every single thing.
a bigger deal than it is, and I don't. Yeah, I mean a pretty poor strategy on how to deal with some criticism. I don't know. I mean, like I just ask me, like, just mute these people. Like that's all you have to do. Just hit the mute button.
Well, it's like I said. I was like, they just need to have some PR person there who's there, like standing next to them. It's like when they're about to say something, someone just goes, "Nope, just don't, just move on, just move on." Like when Phil goes, "Where are you?" They just should have had someone there who was like, "No, no, 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 nope, no, nope." So yeah, I'm there. But yeah, that's obviously kind of the hotter topic of discussion right now. But let's kind of look real quick. So I mentioned the offense has been looking a little bit more promising of late. And then, you look at right here as Nick pulls up this slide, it's kind of seeing the hits are there as far as the last few days. The runs are there. It's just, they're 1-2 in the last 3 games. And I know across the board, they don't look good amongst the rest of the league, but it's also just a weird offensive year in baseball in general, unless you're like Manny Machado, apparently, or Nolan Arenado. But yeah, you're kind of seeing like guys like Brandon Drury are obviously having really good at-bats right now. And today was just kind of like the perfect example of like they're getting hits, but also just really a lot of missed opportunities. I mean, there's 2 situations where they have bases loaded and less than 1 out. And from those 2 circumstances, they score 1 run. Like, I feel like it's just kind of, and this isn't like situational baseball kind of kicking in. I think this is part of it is definitely luck, just not going their way. But I feel like the offense really isn't too far away from getting rolling consistently.
It's been a lot of factors. I mean, number one, they faced a lot of really, really good pitchers.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about the situational hitting, but they scored 11 runs the last 2 days, and the games were started by Joe Musgrove and Mackenzie Gore. Like, those are solid pitchers. Like, if you would have told me,
awesome.
if you would have told me on Tuesday morning the Reds are going to score 11 runs the next 2 days, I would have been like, let's go. Like, I would be feeling great, So, yeah, I mean, they faced a lot of really good pitchers. They've had a lot of injuries, and they've had a lot of players not perform. They've had some players just be incredible unlucky. Tommy Pham, the Statcast numbers are through the roof, but he hasn't really got anything going until late. Dead and ball. I mean, it's like it's everything, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, we had this. Carlos, you sent this to me earlier about the the Reds slugging percentage, and I think Reds reporter said it's the equivalent of Willie Tavares. But I mean, I pulled up the projected slugging, versus the actual, and I mean, the only 2 guys that are slugging, one of them's on the IL right now, and the other one's Brandon Drury. Everyone else is slugging below what they're expected. So, man, just I don't know what are you gonna do,
Joey Votto and
Brandon
161
Drury
is painful.
Keeps this up. Is he blocking Jose Barrero?
I don't think we're gonna have to worry at any point this year of finding playing time for people. I think there'll be. I mean, Brandon Drury. I mean, he's not. We got a couple questions about him in the chat, so I would like to talk about him for a minute.
Sure.
It hasn't been like a lucky thing at all with him. It's not like he's hitting a bunch of bloop singles. Like, he is hitting the hell out of the ball. So
yeah,
he smoked that one tonight. That 375 expected weighted on base average. That was not including tonight, so that I'm sure went up. So yeah, I mean, looks like he's a nice pickup. I don't, who knows how long this will last, but hey, there's guys like Brandon Drury every year that no one sees coming that end up being nice players, and hey, it'd be great if he is. I'm not gonna get too excited about him, but hey, been a pleasant surprise on a team that hasn't been able to hit at all.
Yeah.
What's
agreed.
his ceiling? Tyler Naquin?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he's going to be a little bit different. I'm surprised he's been DHing because I thought he was a solid defender at third base. I'm a little confused at why he's been DHing. I don't know if he's dealing with some sort of injury, but that looks weird since he's like hitting balls like 400 feet. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. I don't know. Maybe there's something they see with him defensively that I don't. I don't know. I mean, he has a little more position flexibility than like a guy like Tyler Naquin, so that has a little bit more value. I mean, I think he's played third base, shortstop, second base, left field, right field. So I mean, that's a nice player to have if he can hit league average, and especially he's a right-handed bat. Don't have very many of those good ones right now, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, India obviously coming back. Senzel's starting to look more comfortable at the plate. But yeah, other than that, I mean, especially with everyone out, especially with Stevenson out, it's kind of looks a little bleak there. I think one of the other things that kind of stands out, especially these last two nights, and kind of even going back Sunday to actually really through the weekend, as a few guys here and there, I feel like the bullpen's been pretty decent, for like a week or so now. Obviously, you look at these last two games that we talked about, the starters gave up 15 runs combined between the both games. So like Nick said, you score 11 runs the last 2 weeks, the last two games, you feel like you're pretty confident. But I think tonight the bullpen gave up 2 runs. Last night they didn't give up any, and they had to pitch 6 2/3 of innings in that game. So I feel like that's kind of starting to really everyone's kind of starting to find their role there. I thought the way that David Bell used Santion Sunday against St. Louis was awesome. Coming in the middle of the 6th and just kind of to get those like outs that Lodolo didn't get to end the inning, using him in more high leverage situations than worrying about getting the last 3 outs of the game. And I know Justin Wilson went on the IL today, but I actually kind of really feel a little more comfortable with majority of the bullpen without what we've seen the last few days.
I'll say kind of like what I said last year, whenever we got a little too excited about the bullpen, like it's not much stress whenever you're pitching in a blowout. So those situations, these guys haven't been tested yet. So for me right now, yeah, they've thrown the ball nice, but to me, it holds little weight. There's not much behind it to go off of. Like we'll see how they do whenever they have to come in, in the 4th inning, 2 outs, and there's a guy on second and third, see how that guy does, and then how they can build from there. Because that's the only way we're really going to tell how good these guys are. Because, I mean, yeah, everybody's professional and they should be trying as hard as they can, but it's different whenever the game's on the line.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
That is a good point.
The one thing that was nice on Sunday, the only game the Reds have won in like the last year, they had like, what was they 4-1, I think it was, and they brought in Warren, Santion, and Sims, and they just mowed down the Cardinals. And I definitely feel really good about those 3 guys. I feel like you have 3 really solid relievers. I throw Sessa in the mix as well. I know his StatCast numbers don't look really good. He got really blown up in that Dodgers game, so in a kind of a weird situation. I feel really good about those 4 guys. The other one point I would make about this bullpen is, at least it's not a bunch of retreads. These are guys that at least there's some sort of higher ceiling with. It's not
Right.
it's not guys making their final lap, other than Hunter Strickland. It's not guys making their final lap around the ballpark. These are some
Not
guys like
seeing Perez's and
Cincinnati Perez is tearing it up with the Orioles. I haven't checked.
He looked good the time I saw him.
Clay sent me something. He had like a 0 ERA through 5 appearances. I was like, what we saw last year. But
did Clay tell you somebody actually asked him if he was Phil's nephew?
Yeah, you're starting all kinds of rumors around.
I love it.
Around
he
town.
is though, for real.
Oh, you know what, Carlos? Some people have got to be positive on these parts, or it's really going to be ugly.
Yeah.
No, no, because come July and August, we're gonna be scoreboard watching, but just so we can finish third in the division. Like we got to get above the Cubs. We got to get above the Cubs,
Yeah.
and so I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. You want to talk about it? We got a bunch of questions. Just rip it off.
Roger F. Why is Aquino still on this team? Because everybody else is dead, sir.
Yeah, because they don't have any other options.
Any more Aquino slander? Let me just go through, make sure I got them all on here. Just to really stab it in my heart here.
That first inning or second inning, whenever it was, whenever they scored their first run, the way he went back on that ball, that was odd. He had so much time to get back on it. It didn't seem like wind was a factor tonight.
I think my kids were doing something crazy then.
Oh, you missed that one.
Killing each other.
Weird. I was like, come on, man. You can't get lazy with that if you can't hit. You better be like all in defensively, but it was really odd.
I think he knows he's probably kind of counting his at-bats at this point of how many he's going to have left for this organization. So
he's going to go to the Giants and he's going to have a big playoff hit.
Yep.
You know it's coming. Man, it's gonna kill me so much too. It sucks he doesn't have an option left. I wish you could just send him down. Let him have a couple months in Louisville, get his confidence back, and at least see if there's something else there. But yeah, it's a shame. But I mean, like, sure, they could DFA him today and bring up whoever give some more at bats to Matt Reynolds or whoever, but it's probably not going to make much of a difference, So
on this trajectory, are we going to see like this September call-ups when they expand the roster by 2 or 3 people? Is this when we see Matt McClain and Jay Allen just as like a to hell with it?
Yeah, I hope we see Matt McClain this year. That would be a lot of fun just to kind of see where he's at, maybe for next year. You want to talk, Carlos? I know you sent you sent something out. Reds and 4 had a comment. Castillo, Malley, Farmer, Naquin, and Pham are the ones to prepare for at the deadline. Mike Minor too. You want to? I'm sure this will be something we talk about a lot over the next couple months.
Yeah, I mean, basing on now, I mean, you hold those 2 pitchers at the top of the list, and then for some reason, I feel like I don't think Castillo is going to go. I feel like he's going to be the one that they hold on to. When maybe it shouldn't be him, but Pham, if he keeps swinging the bat like he is right now, I mean, he's got to be gone. You would think.
Yeah, Pham does cost a little bit more, so how much is a team going to give up for him? I mean, unless he really, really, goes on a tear. I mean, if he's,
but I don't think that the Reds are going to ask for too much.
No, I'm not saying. Pham, though, is a little bit different than Naquin, and here's why I would say that. Because Naquin can be replaced with Fraley, Friedel. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other left-handed bats. Reds don't have another right-handed bat in the outfield, especially if you're going to DFA Aquino at some point. I mean, they really have no one else. And I know people might scoff at this, but I do think there's some value to not getting your brains beat in against left-handed pitching all year. Like, you got all these young players, I if you're not going to get anything back for Pham, or you're going to get like, whatever, like the Reds got back for Tucker Barnhart, the throw-in guy, I don't know if you necessarily have to trade him. Like, I think he could be a player to at least kind of help get you through this year. Yeah. But again, now if there's something of value, sure, you gotta take it. But that's interesting. I think Farmer's the guy that probably a lot of people don't think about, that I think really could be traded. I think like a team like the Giants, who loves those platoon matchups, he would fit perfectly with them. And he's going to start to get expensive next year. Like, he's over like $3.3 million this year. He's still got 2 more years of arbitration. He's probably up to like that $5 million next year. And if Jose Barrera's your starting shortstop, I mean, that's a lot of money for a backup shortstop. And I know people hate the money talk, but it doesn't matter what your budget is. You gotta fit it with someone. And I think he's probably a guy that, especially if he keeps hitting decent, if he hits 4 doubles every night, he'll really have a lot of value. But
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that would have a little bit of value. That it would also be a good situation maybe to look to move, just because you're going to get into a situation where he's going to get a pay raise and really not have any trade value. And he's be a guy you definitely don't want to like non-tender or anything. He's been such a good player for the Reds. So I think he's a guy that I definitely see getting moved. Who would have thought Kyle Farmer had trade value? That's awesome. Good for him. I mean, it's awesome that he's.
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it?
Ryan Castellanos.
This guy.
And Carlos.
Yeah, Ryan Castellanos for sure. Miss that guy. Hope he's having fun. Hopefully his brother is enjoying his life in Philly when his teammates ripping Angel Hernandez a new one.
Doesn't stop.
I bet there are lefties out there who could hit left-handed pitching better than Aquino. Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's rough. Poor old Aquino right now. Oof.
It's just such a bummer because that 1 month when he came up was so freaking fun. It was a blast. And like since then, it's been just not very fun.
He was good up until the end of last year. And then, man, he really went down in September and then has not recovered this year.
No, he is not.
Spring training stats mean nothing.
Yeah. I think we're learning that pretty quickly.
Yep.
Well, at least there isn't a ton of dead money on the money situation, right? I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. and Shogo Akiyama, when I looked at Spot Track today, I think that's about it.
Yay.
Optimism. Yeah.
What else you got, guys?
I'm going to give you this one, Carlos. This is from
What?
Mr. Juan. What's the issue with Joey Votto? Is his bat speed slower?
I don't know about what his bat speed is or was, but to me, as a pitcher just watching, I see that his timing is way off. Like his leg kick is way off. It almost looks like he's guessing at pitches instead of zones like he normally does whenever he's going well. And I don't know, we've seen bad streaks in the past, but this one is just really annoying because it doesn't ever feel like he's quite there. Like he's seen the ball well a couple of times. There's been plenty of ABs this year where he's got the benefit of a doubt of a called ball instead of a strike. That check swing tonight, he went on that. He got another opportunity. But I mean, and he even admitted that the other day about getting the benefit of the doubt of balls and strikes, but that he had been lucky. But I don't know. He switched back to his other bat. Maybe he feels a little bit more comfortable. Hit a ball hard yesterday. It's coming. It's definitely coming. It's just I wish it would hurry up because there's not many bright spots to look at right now.
Yeah, he had 3 walks Sunday against St. Louis. That was nice.
Yeah.
Had 1 tonight. So yeah, he's still the same patient Joey Votto that can work a count, but yeah, it definitely seems like he's still getting his timing down. And I know the whole Major League Baseball had a shortened spring training, so I'm not trying to use that as an excuse. But I feel like he's someone that really kind of values those spring training ABs. And Carlos, you can obviously speak to this way more than we can. So like I feel like if he had like another maybe 20, 25 ABs, maybe he kind of gets in that groove a little sooner. But, obviously there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get some good opportunities coming up. Tomorrow's starter is a right-handed starter. The Padres, number 5 guy. Then 3 games in Coors Field. I think they got 2 lefties, but still it's in Coors Field, which is obviously a great place to get right. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
The Brewers will be tough, but then the Reds got 4 games against the Pirates. So, I at least think there's some matchups that hopefully we can see some really good, offensive games, especially from guys like Votto, and then, kind of India coming back. Hopefully we can At least, man, wouldn't it be nice just to like have like a 10-2 win or something? Like,
Yeah.
man, just one, just one. It would be nice. Just one night you can go to bed feeling good,
Sunday was awesome.
I know.
That was awesome. But I want a real beatdown. I want to. Yeah.
You want to stick it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make up for that run differential that's really not in the Reds' favor right now.
Yeah, it's like a 22-1 win and just throw it all off.
That'd be awesome. I want to chug more beers for ending losing streaks.
Well, we're only at 2 right now. I mean, that doesn't seem that bad, right?
Yeah, we already went through 11, so
Padres are about to sweep the Guevara Cup.
Well, last year they tried to sweep, but Kyle Farmer said no.
he did. That's right.
I mean, he can't do it all. Come on, guys.
I don't know, man. You have 4 doubles tonight.
If he'd had 4 homers, it'd have been better.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna get tomorrow off.
Yeah.
Who's gonna play shortstop?
Reynolds or Drury?
Yeah.
Reynolds. That's why they brought him in. Is because he can't play shortstop.
How about Tommy Pham trying to Goldberg his ass too? Did you miss that one, Nick?
I think I did, man.
Brandon, we'll see
I
him
feel like I
ran
watched a
into
lot
him.
of this game, but everything you bring it up, I didn't see.
The ball was hitting like, I don't know, 15 feet past the dirt in the outfield, and Fam's come running in, and he's like camped under it. And Fam's like falling down trying to catch him, and he runs into him. Jesus.
Tommy plays the game hard,
It's like, you're not going to get paid for catching that extra ball, Tommy Pham. Don't worry about your defensive numbers.
You don't get paid for cans of corn?
Not if you catch them.
Tomorrow would be a good day to give Kyle off, though. Is he got 2 lefties in Colorado? Tomorrow would probably be a good day. I mean, it's hard after 4 doubles, but the guy doesn't
need a day off. How many games in a row did Cal Ripken play? Same dude.
Same dude.
Yeah, but did Cal Ripken ever hit 4 doubles in a game? Like he doesn't have that kind of ceiling.
That's true. That's a lot more. That's a good point, Nick.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Value points. Yeah. So here's what we kind of have coming up. So tomorrow, Tyler Mahle against Nick Martinez. Like Nick said, this is not a slight on him, but probably the worst of the Padres rotation because the other 4 are freaking awesome. It's fair.
Freaking awesome.
And they're so good.
Reds have their, most established, probably their best starter on the mound. So good vibes. We're positive vibes now, right? That's what India's shirt said. Positive vibes.
And then you go to Colorado, who we've talked about this for 2 years now, are really good at home. I don't know what it is. They're actually playing pretty good ball right now. But yeah, it's like, you kind of have this coming up. Austin Gomber, Chad Kuhl, Kyle Freeland. And then, yeah, like Nick said, you got 3 with the Brew Crew, Woodruff, Peralta, and Adrian Hauser. Woodruff and Peralta have not found their groove yet. But
they probably will.
But they will now because Reds in 4 and Tim Daniel had to say something. Yeah. And then you come home for 4 games with the Pirates, including a doubleheader on Saturday. That's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, hopefully they bump Green and Lodolo back so I can at least see one of them when I come.
Yeah. So you're only here for that day?
Yeah, just gonna go to both doubleheaders and head home the next day.
Nice.
Are you gonna get hammered?
Well, my kids are gonna go to the day games, so probably not.
They're not old enough to drive.
Not yet.
Got some time.
We did get a couple other questions here if you want to.
Yeah, let's go.
Knock some of these out. Actually, two. Are going from here from Jim. How many losses before someone is fired? That's a really good question. I mean, the Reds are 3-15. Brian Price was fired at 3-15. So I mean, I don't think they're gonna fire Bell. I mean, number one, they signed him to an extension in September last year. So I mean, that would look pretty dumb. And I also think like it was a little bit different with Brian Price. Like I feel like when you fire Brian Price, Like, it was at least something, okay, I think fans felt a little better. No one's going to feel good about firing Bell.
No.
Even his harshest critics are going to be mad. Like, you're scapegoating. I don't see how it does them any good. I think they like David Bell. I don't know. Maybe they fire a bench coach or bat boy or someone
I was
like
gonna say
that.
Derek Johnson's not
anybody
getting fired
after-
either. Yeah.
They can't fire anybody after what's going on. They just replaced the hitting coach. Pitching they can't lose him. They can't
Yeah.
put this on David Bell. Like, it would look terrible on ownership if they fired someone.
Yeah.
If David Bell's gonna get fired, like the way Brian Price did, he needs to have one of those like tangents where he says the F word 34 times. I think that's probably what would have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, anything's possible, especially with, how challenging of a time the Reds have had with the PR lately. So I don't know, maybe they would think that would do good. I'm here to tell you it won't. No one's gonna be like, yeah, that's the move we needed.
That's gonna change everything.
People are gonna be more mad. People will be a lot more mad than excited about that. So
Yeah.
Even the ones who dislike him. Yeah, I don't think that. Another good one. Did Phil's comments contribute to the losing streak, or do the owner's comments not matter to the players in the clubhouse? Carlos, why don't you start with that?
No, I mean, they probably heard it and they're like, whatever. Guys that have been there for a long time, they're like, we're used to this. We've gone through these up and downs before. But no, those guys are all pros. They're all playing for their future. They're playing for their next contract. So they're out there because there's people trying to get their jobs, every single day. So that stuff doesn't bother them. It's not going to, one way or the other, even if they like came out and said something amazing that they're going to do for the city or whatever, that's not going to change the way that they play either. So
yeah, I'm with you on that.
There's too many young guys that can't afford to be affected by that.
How many guys do the Reds have that aren't playing for a contract right now? Votto?
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't think Votto cares about what ownership says. He's been here forever, his entire career. I mean, I don't really think it matters to him. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone, even the older guys like Pham, they're trying to get another contract at some point. So yeah, I don't see that. Yeah, I mean, I guess Alan Zender being the hitting coach. That's if there's one guy that might get fired, it would probably be him. I think the Reds overall like him. And
didn't he just get hired?
No, he was here last year. Yeah, he was here last year.
I thought a hitting coach got fired in the middle of the season, like here recently. Am I wrong? Probably. Usually.
Not that I remember. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just can't put a name to it.
I don't. I think they like him. I mean, from everything I've heard, it sounds like he's a guy that they like. But I mean, I'm just saying, if there's anyone of note that maybe would get canned, it would be him. He was the hitting coach since 2020, so I think they might have fired the other guy in 2020. I don't know. No, maybe it was like at the end of 2019. I don't think they fired anyone in 2020. It was kind of hard to bring guys in and out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah, I mean, good comment here from Zachary. I hate that the young guys have to experience this, like what Nick said earlier about India maybe not wanting to sign an extension. Again, I'm not saying I highly doubt that plays a huge role. I'm just saying I hope it doesn't. Like, I don't want people to be like, taking this, oh, this is gonna stop India from signing. India can't go anywhere. So if the Reds offer him a good contract, no one else can offer him that. So I don't want to make a big deal out of that, but I hope it doesn't have any impact.
Well, I mean, they have somebody in Joey who they can talk to about it. Like, Joey's going to be dead honest with them, how he feels about it. What he says to the media or his friend or something is going to be different because it has to be. His answer has to be a certain way. So, he can, he gets along with those guys, like somebody like India. And, India's going to be like, hey, man, they're offering me this. Like, what do you think? And, they'll go back and forth like that. So the way that they're roster that they're running out there this year, the way that ownership is talking, that's not going to hold any weight on the player's decision. Really, it's going to come from somebody like Joey that they can really talk to and ask. So
Yeah, Tanner Ward was the coach. Thanks, Reds and for bringing that up. Yeah, Tanner Ward, and they fired him at the end of 2019. He was like the Puig guy, and then they brought in Zenter in 2020. But they also had who was the assistant hitting coach, Ecker. That's probably who you're thinking of. He was the assistant coach, but he was the guy that was credited for a lot of swing changes, and then got hired by the Giants and helped them. And he's got, I think, like a really good job. Is he with the Astros maybe now?
When did the Reds sign with the Giants to be their JV team? What the hell?
I don't know, man.
2018?
They're doing pretty good. The Pat's Blue Monday comment about India also being Scott Boras doesn't help. I don't know. I think maybe that's a little over exaggerated. Boras, if you saw the comments he made about Castellanos, he was very careful with the words that he said, that he was not trying to trash Reds ownership. Like, he wants to still have everyone available. Like, and he does not care. Whoever pays the most, he's going to recommend that's where you go. Like, he doesn't care about any of that other stuff. So, and I mean, the Reds signed two guys with him in 2020. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. I think if the Reds offer him an extension that Boras views as a fair value, or maybe even more than that, maybe better than fair value or whatever, I think he's going to recommend that he takes it. I really don't think that's probably, too much. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Pat. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a great thing, but they've worked before, and I think Boras is going to go wherever the most money is.
Yeah, Nick Senzel is also a Boras client too. So, it's obviously, and, you do have a say, like, when you're drafted. Like, I know, like, Carlos, you can speak to this more than anybody probably, obviously, but like, the Reds got Hunter Green because Tampa Tim and Tampa really couldn't come to a contract conversation. And that's why he drops them at 2. And that's what they took. Was it Brendan McKay? I think they took over him. Like, that kind of happens a little bit here and there as well. So, yeah, I don't think it's like perfect by any means, but it certainly doesn't help. I agree, but I also kind of see where Nick's coming from. I think, like, the conversation you hear, like, with him was that, he told the Reds that Nick was interested in coming back still. He wasn't closing the door, and it just kind of, didn't work out the way that everyone wanted it to, obviously.
Another good comment here from Reds Gal 21. Carlos, what is it like for players' mindsets playing in an empty stadium, or does it not matter?
Right now, early in the season, it probably doesn't matter. But when you get like to the dog days of summer and there's nobody there, it sucks. It makes it that much harder to get ready for a game. So they call it the dog days of summer, is because you're at game like 120 already and you still have 40 to go. You're like, holy cow, is this ever going to end? And those games can get tough to get up and get yourself psyched and ready to go. Again, everybody's a professional. They're playing for their contracts, but that does, every player will tell you they can't wait to play underneath the bright lights with a big crowd. It brings out the best in them. That's what those professional players, that's in their blood. That's what they're made out of. Like, that's when they shine, whenever people are watching them. And so that does take a little bit out of it. I mean, I couldn't put a percentage number on it, I guess, but it's definitely tough and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, so the 2012 team that won 97 games on September 10th had 16,000 people show up to a game. So I mean, I think some of this might be, a little, over exaggerated or whatever. I mean, again, I mean, I think a lot of this stuff feels worse than it probably is right now.
Yeah, and I think that's just more or less the feelings of the off season, and Phil's comments, I think, just kind of made things worse than they mean, obviously 3-15 is terrible. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, but I feel like if we don't have that, if that conversation doesn't happen, we're just kind of sitting here talking like, yeah, the team stinks, but that just kind of makes it feel like it's just like, free falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second worst start since 1933.
Well, 2018 they got to 3-18, so just won one of these next
Three.
and we avoid
Damn, they were that bad then? I don't remember that.
Yeah, man. Jim Riggleman was the interim manager, if that tells you anything you need to know.
So wiggle it just a little bit.
Well, I mean, the positive is that 2018 team had a 15-11 June and a 13-11 July, had a 4-game sweep at Dodger Stadium. Still lost 95 games, but hey, they had some fun moments. They had a good
got Nick Lodolo.
They had a good run.
We are gonna need some topics on this show.
Hey, if the Reds are going 15-11, I don't care for 15 games back. I'm gonna enjoy every second of it. I will gladly take a 15-11 month at any point this year.
Yeah.
Post
I'm
show.
with you. Yeah. Is there anything else we need to touch on before we get out of here? You got any other questions or?
I forgot to put the live thing up, man.
Yeah, as if people didn't know.
I failed.
That's what that red light in the background is. It's the live.
Yeah.
I get the radio stations. What? Why are you throwing Dougie Downer in here?
I didn't even know you had that. I should have known you had that, but
it's always ready. Ooh.
Yeah.
Shout out Doug.
For sure. Yeah. Well, guys, tomorrow's a new day. It's the last Padres game of the season. Thank God. But for everyone who's still kind of hanging out with us each and every week, just know we're very grateful and we really appreciate this. And it's been a lot of fun. If you still love us and you still like hanging out with us, again, thank you. Please check us out at latenighreds.merchmake.com. Pick up some merchandise and support us and show us some love. It means a lot. And also make sure you give us a nice solid Apple 5-star review and go to Bet Online. Sign up. Believe. BLEAV. Get your 50% welcome bonus. You're betting for or against the Reds. I mean, they're going to Colorado, who are really good at home. So there you go. So on behalf of Nick and Carlos, thank you, everyone. 5-star reviews and go Reds.